Wait, we recording it?
No, we recording?
I've been recording for long.
That's good.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. What I've learned, unless you have some type of interest in this game, you're not gonna put in as much as I put in. They'll never put in as much as I put into it. I bleed and sweat this man all day, every day. This is my baby. Like, you know, when you and like Courtney know, I come from a competitive family. To where we, you know, look, I'm sitting over next to my brother, and I'll be like, hey, I'll be like, hey, man, bro, I made 25 this month, and he'll be like, man, if I made that, I'll shoot myself in the head. If that's all I made, I'll shoot myself in the head. I made that in a week, man. Look, I'll shoot myself. But it's good competition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's good competition. We constantly push each other,
Yeah.
and that's just what it is. And we laugh because we used to do the same thing in Dallas all the time.
Yeah.
We'll be brainstorming and I don't know, man. It's just
The objective as a whole is for all of us to get better. And if we're not, why are we still doing life with each other?
correct.
We just had that conversation before we came over here. If I'm spending my time, which is valuable, spending it with you, there may be a time in the season of life where we probably was doing the shenanigans and the BS, but eventually, at this point in time in the stage in our lives, if we're not making each other better, if I'm not demanding greatness out of you, if you're not demanding that out of me, then I'm not going to be wasting my time. I tell Courtney this now because I've gotten busy doing so many things. Man, I have to be very selective of who I answer the phone for.
Correct.
Right?
It's nothing personal.
It's nothing personal, but it's just outside of being a husband, a father, my roles, and what we do at L.I.T and other things in the IT side, other things I got my hands in. I'm really selective, like, man,
Correct.
I can't talk right.
Yeah.
Right? And if I'm calling you to reach out to you and talk to you, and that's not being reciprocated, I'm not getting that back, then that goes down. That goes off. That falls off.
Correct.
You know, it's nothing personal, but you really start to understand the importance of time and what I'm distributing my energy into and mentally. Because as we go in different avenues in business, family, you're talking to your kids, the mental component is so vital. So I got to make sure I'm locked in. So you asking me why I want to go do all those crazy races. Because for me, that helps me mentally being able to make sense in chaotic situations. So when I'm in the business side of it, if it's a chaotic situation we walking into, I've taught myself enough that, okay, this is just a chaotic situation right now. Maybe a couple emails went out. This was bad. Maybe something happened in business that we weren't quite anticipating. But let me make sense out of this situation now. But that correlates back to everything else I do based on how I train.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Eat Cypher. Flow harder than the hands on Peter Piper. And now we would like to introduce you to your rivals. It's like Ali and Tyson. The hook miss with the liking. So nothing Mr. Bison. Maximus and Leonidas. You were in the booth with Titans. Goons, goblins, and Vikings. It ain't really nothing like us.
Well, live, baby. If you don't know, you do now. Welcome back to another episode of the Lit Code Podcast. Podcast where the menu is short and sweet, but there's plenty for your mind to eat. I am Big C, Courtney Anderson, Fluff, Oink, whole lot of different names. That's who I am. I never gave myself a nickname, though. I earned them all. However that happened. Now, we do know Edgar Jones. Some of you gonna look at this and know exactly who these two guys are in the middle. I'll get to that a little later. We have some special guests here today. You often hear Edgar and I talk about where we're from. And we talk about our family. And I will admit, sometimes even after I say certain things, I walk away saying, I bet they think I'm lying. Like, ain't no way he got a cousin that plays 7 years of league. He got a cousin that's a dentist. He got a cousin that owns the 4th largest waste management service company, Valet waste management service company in the state of Texas. He got a cousin that's been a DA 20 years. In the funeral business 30, 40 years. I ain't lying. It's true. Now, two of the things I just said belongs to these two illustrious gentlemen sitting here. If I'm being honest, I would have rather interviewed their father, though, because he outdo both of them. But anyway, who I have sitting with me are relatives. all of us are actually relatives. This is a disclaimer for some of you who watch this and y'all see Edgar and Mr. Christopher Hayes sitting here. They not the ones that's really cousins. It's me and Edgar. But our families are so close that a lot of people growing up thought that they were the two that were related. Probably because of skin hue too. You know, they chocolate fellas and they tall. You know what I'm saying? I stopped growing this way and started growing that way. Me and my other cousins sitting here. But these three right here are the children of sisters. DeWanda Williams Anderson and Mary Williams Hayes, right? We are Miss Biddy's grandsons, and these two on the outside are Miss Spooker's grandsons. But our families really grew up like all of us were one cohesive unit. And y'all might have heard Chris talk about competition earlier. Well, when you got cats going in front of you setting the bar a certain type of way, right? You don't have no choice but to get with it after a while. I had a bird's eye view as being the youngest. Right here, Stephen Hayes, Dr. Stephen William Nicholas Hayes, D.D.S, M.S, M.B.A. All that going there, right? I'm missing anything?
Missing anything. You was missing anything. Oh, just making sure.
To the right of him is his older brother, Christopher Maurice Hayes. I ain't gonna go down every title he has, but he is doing it on. The fourth largest valet waste management service in the state of Texas. That's him, right? I'm the baby, right? So I got to see all these people go before us. Now earlier today, I know Edgar and I have changed our attire and put on. We do have on boots done. I don't know if you can get them in. Edgar and I got on boots. Boy got Louis Vuitton or something. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, these dead stock Kobe's, baby. The Mambas.
That's cool. This is I don't know, Python source from somewhere. and that's probably pure bison. Shout out to everybody. It's all marketing. Poncho outdoors. And our newest brand, Boost Bread and Butter. The bare necessities, right? Anyway, I got to watch these guys. We just interviewed Quentin Brown. On my daddy's side of the family, that's the first superstar I got to see. But on mama's side of the family, the first superstar all of us got to see was Mr. Christopher Hayes. To get that kind of notoriety and attention from a sport, we watched him first, right? So I'm telling you, I paid a lot of attention being the youngest. I get to watch it. Oh, Hayes gone, basketball. I ain't that tall, a little wild. Here come Quinn in football. I can go that way. Boy, matter of fact, I'm a nerd. Right, boy played ball too, but now boy going to school on academics. Well, I can go that route. So I got to watch all of this happen from right up close, man. And so without further ado, I do present to you. We've already interviewed Dr. Hayes here, but we want to introduce to you our Christopher Maurice Hayes.
Guy does an excellent introduction. Man.
Excellent introduction, man.
Great.
Excellent introduction.
A couple weeks ago, he tried to get me to do it, and I was like, nah.
Look, he could have left out the basketball. I told him that's dead, man. I want to be known for trying.
That's a part of the
Hey, I'm no longer shoot 'em up.
But if I asked us, everybody in here, how long did it take us to get to this point of life? Your answer, I don't care how you answer me, but your answer has to be every day.
Every day.
And that's every single thing that happened from the point of birth in between.
Yeah.
It's all teaching us something, right? Sometimes the basketball play broke down and you had to improvise. In business, sometimes like somebody called in, I'm going to call such and such. I'm sick today. What Hayes got to do? Improvise. You call them to play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So sports teach you a lot. Getting attention teaches you a lot. That builds who you are today. Sometimes we learn what not to do. But I feel like whenever you have a story, you came from something. That's the best part of the story. That part, the overcoming part. So, I'm gonna kick it right off. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and dig deep first. I said her name. I said we were the children of sisters, right? And I mentioned my late aunt Mary Lou Williams Hayes. When I say that name, what comes to Christopher's mind?
Loving mother, man. Loving mother. She always supported us and everybody else around us at all times, you know. She instilled in us value, morals, God first and foremost. And, you know, we miss her, but, you know, her legacy lives on in each of us every day, man, you know. And I truly believe God makes no mistakes, man, you know, because at the end of the day, God is first in all of our lives. All this other stuff is immaterial, to be honest. So I just appreciate that my mother showed me that, you know, always put God first, no matter the situation, and you move forward from there. So don't get me wrong, I enjoy making money. I enjoy building this company, but I always put God first in everything, man, because without him, I've been through some storms in my life, you know, just, my mother wasn't here to witness some of those storms. She was here to see me go through some, she pushed me through, but her lessons in life helped bring me out of some of those storms that I was in after she died. You know, we miss her, we love her, and, you know, we just continue to live on, let her legacy live on through all of us, through her relatives, kids, grandchildren, whoever that may be. So, well, you know, she's gone, but she's not forgotten.
Yeah. Talk about what would you say is maybe a lesson or two lessons that travel with you that she gave you when you was going through that adversity?
Push through. Push through. Whatever. And Stephen, though I'm not lying, whatever you think is a bad day, whenever you think it's a bad day, it could be worse. It's somebody out there living worse than you are, going through something worse than you are right now. I use this example for a lot of people. When somebody calls me with this problem where they think they're about to just go crazy, I say, you know something? It's somebody that's in that cancer ward right now that just received a terminal illness. They'll trade places with you any day of the week. I said, imagine if you were them.
Yeah.
So whatever you're going through, you'll get through it. You'll be okay. So, you know, just push through everything. Put God first, push through.
Yeah. I got a story for that, right? Everybody who knows my Aunt Mary Lou, if you, my auntie, I ain't gonna say aunt, I ain't gonna my auntie Mary Lou knows that when she walked in the room, it lit up. She turned that on, right? Yeah. She was gonna be boisterous and laughing and loving to everybody. She loved her jogging suits, her windbreakers, right? And I can attest to the fact that no matter what happened before she got in that room, she didn't let whatever that was turn that off. Case in point, the Volvo. We coming up 80, right back here. She already dressed, makeup done, eye faces greased. As long as she would do it. Boom, we get a flat. No cell phones back then. She wasn't calling no man. We was young boys. She got out, sweated her makeup, changed that flat, got in and changed clothes somehow without us seeing anything. She had some more clothes in the back, changed her undershirt and stuff. And she never stopped singing and talking, calling us goober head and all that stuff. And we got to where we got to. It was lights on again. Yeah. That never deterred her. I use the one of my sayings is, if you let stuff get to you, you'll get a flat and forget you got a spare. I get that from her because I've never. It's hard for me to let stuff get in front of me, and it happens, and I'm like, I don't take the time to think. Well, okay, well, what do I do? So we're in it now. You know what I'm saying? Is that gonna change my whole day? Is it gonna change how I present myself to people? That's something that I did get from her. Dr. Hayes.
Hey, before you say that, she was ahead of her time, Stephen, because she had joggers now. She was flooding back then. If she had had joggers, it would have been on. It would have been on.
But when you hear the name of your mother, man, what comes to mind for you?
I mean, you just made me think about something. It's just they push through, and nothing ever gets me down. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Whether it's the worst day of my life or the best day of my life, it's not gonna change what I do when I get up in the morning. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna grind, no matter what people say, no matter what somebody does. I mean, she passed on a Monday. I was back at school on a Monday. I was just talking to my fiance about these. I remember I was taking organic chemistry. I made a 20 on my first organic chemistry test. And then my mama passed probably a week later. But I was back at school a week after that, and I ended up that class with a B. And if you think about it, it is very difficult to bring a 20 up to a B when you only got 3 or 4 tests. And it's just that perseverance and just, like you said, just keep pushing through. Like he said as well, you know, and then also, it was a plaque on the wall, just telling Chris about this, there's a plaque on the wall in the hallway. And I always say, it said, "Dear God, please help me to not worry about the things I can't control, but only focus on the things I can control." And I take that with me through. I do everything I can do each day, and then I go to sleep peacefully. And that's just what it is, because once you do everything you can do, I'm chilling. I wake up in the morning, I'm going to do everything I can do, and I'm going to sleep. I'm good. And that way I don't ever have to go to bed. I never go to bed stressed out. If I'm stressed in life, it's probably an hour. It's going to be over in 1 hour. It's going to be over in an hour, and I'm going to be back to doing what I'm doing. You know, whether it's an opportunity I miss, I could lose $100,000. I'm like,
well, I'm gonna be stressed longer than an hour.
I'm gonna wake up. I literally lost $100,000, and I'm telling you this. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, I'll be stressed longer than an hour.
But you think about it, it's like when you lose that and you can't do nothing about it. What you stressing for?
Longer than an hour.
You can't do nothing about it.
I know.
You're depressed. That depression is only impeding you from getting better moving forward. So don't worry about something you can't do nothing about. You just get better. But because of that, I'm even better.
It's just gonna last a little longer with me.
I get what both of y'all saying. It's interesting you talk about that 20 though, and then coming back making a B, because there's a story that your brother famously tells me about his Mary Lou, her transcript before she found out she was pregnant and after. Can you tell that story, Hayes? Christopher Hayes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember her saying that. You know, with Chris, she showed me her transcript. I remember sitting in the room in her bed and everything, and then she showed me she showed me her transcript before Chris, and then she showed it after Chris. It was like all A's after that. It was a total night and day. And the thing is that. Because
if you want to see my transcript before the twins and after the twins, it's the same. It's the same. You know, it's the same. It's all the same.
Yeah, but hey, okay. You spoke on storms and coming out of them. So basically, we still talking about what's meant to be adversity. Your life before the storm, and after the storm. Your life during the storm and now, right? What was your biggest pivot in the midst of whatever the storm was? If you talk about it, talk about it. If you don't. But whatever the storm was, what was the biggest pivot? What happened? Because something always happens.
But for me,
brings you out of your storm and turns it around for you.
I can give you plenty of examples. My biggest pivot in life was probably when I was in the streets in Rayville, 2008-9. You know, a lot of sexual immorality, a lot of drugs, a lot of all that. And it's amazing. I had nothing. But when my family still embraced me, you know, Steven talked noise to me. He hemmed me up. He hemmed me up. You gave all these lectures where you just like, I ain't calling him no more. But that was a pivot because I found my relationship with God. Like, I stopped everything cold turkey. Everything. Cold turkey. And was driving the kids in the church van. And that was some of the happiest moments of my life. I didn't have much money. I was driving a church van. I was going to church, like, in the choir, singing, Bible study, and like, in West Side. And that kind of just kept growing.
It was like a Tyler Perry movie.
And it just kept growing. Like I end up coming back to Monroe. I end up going find my wife who I was with before I got in the streets. And ended up still coming back to Dallas. Got with her. biggest pivot of my life. Then got with her, married 2013. And I'll give you another pivot though. And she didn't, I lied to her. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I straight out lied to her. Told her we was moving to Dallas when I got married. Wasn't leaving this money with daddy. Lied to her, moved to the West Monroe. And right when I was about to leave, I told Dad I was leaving for Dallas. Dad had gave me part of the construction company. So I started walking in the office, Steve, and it's a $3,000 check. Every week, $3,000 check. You know, he can tell you. I was like, oh, man. I said, man, I'm in there arguing with my wife. Like, hey, I'm not leaving. I'm making $20,000 of money, Monroe. I'm not leaving arguing. But she said something to me that I use to this day, today. When she said, don't you want to be your own man? It pierced me. Yeah. It pierced me. I was mad when she said it. But later on, you be like, she's right. I wanted to be my own man. And just so, I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe God puts everything in order the way it's supposed to be. I was in Dallas, still trying to travel back and forth to do real estate. I said, well, let me go to this job fair. Walked out the job fair like I'm done. Guy met me, was like, hey, man, I got this. You remember the utility company, electricity, commercial electricity I was selling in Dallas. He walked up to me, just found me, took my resume, called me. It's like, hey, man, we can pay you base $4,500. You work from 9 to 3, 2-hour lunch break. I'm like, wait, 9 to 3, 2-hour lunch break, and you going to guarantee me 45 with commission? Bet, I'm going to take it. That's the same guy that we walking back from lunch, talking about this valet trash business. And I was like, valet trash, what is that? Everything happened. If I miss him by 2 minutes, I never see this guy. Yeah. I never know anything about valet trash. He told me about this and literally sat me down and told me everything. You know, I'm sorry, Donovan. I know you didn't know I stole it, but I stole it. And I took the idea and ran with it to where it is today. You know, and I tell people, don't tell people, you know, you never know who he laughing. But it was about to be Cowboy Valet. He was on board. He was in Dallas on board. Like, hey, man.
Valet trash, is that what you talking about, like an apartment complex?
Apartment complex, yeah.
When they come get trash outside the door?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Hey.
No, I seen it. I used to live in Irving. Mm-hmm. So I was living in this apartment complex, and I always wondered, I just see my trash outside, somebody get my trash. Like, I wonder if I could do that. And I listened to this like 3 years ago. I said, I wonder if I could do this, get some contracts with different apartment complexes, man. Do that, because I was working on box trucks and just, different apartments. Like, we had contracts with loads. I would get the appliance, we get paid the same thing every day, but we got 4 loads or 1 load. We paid the same thing, so we just go check the appliance and I'll look it up, we done for the day. But I seen these people doing it, and I seen them at different, you know, I'm like around 4 more different apartment complexes. And they doing it like every other day. I'm like, I wonder how much money these people making. Yeah. When I say I probably can sit some more, go give me a little dually truck, give me a go work and put them on the back. I always
look.
I always wanted, I never asked them.
But let me tell you something. That sound easy. That's how y'all remember. Everybody here remember when I first started. Oh man, I'm gonna get 20,000 Lambos. I'm gonna get this and that, and I'm just talking. See. Not knowing how much work it took. Yeah. Ain't nobody just jump out there with somebody with no experience and say, here's 10,000 units for you to go with. You know, it's not. It took me to 2000. It took a lot of failed college. I don't want to name the colleges. A lot of failed college contracts that fell through where we thought we had them, but I didn't get my first contract until April 2017. I still remember.
How long you been doing it?
Since 2015.
Since 2015.
Yeah. I got my first contract 2017.
So talk about that for a second. When you decided to go with the valet trash service, what would you say were some of the mistakes that you made in the early stages?
Not knowing the business, going after the wrong market, not knowing who to talk to, I'm good, Dad. You want water?
I'm good. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, not actually knowing who to talk to. A lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted trips. Like You know, and since my dad is in here, we might as well introduce him too. He kind of, you know, without him, I wouldn't even have a Valet trash company. You know, that's my financier. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know, so, you know, my dad kind of helped me out, kind of guided me along the way. But, man, people don't understand the bumps and the roads you have to take. When you start a business you know nothing about. I followed the biggest company in the country, Valet Living. I followed them for 6 months. When I was in Dallas, you remember this. I followed them for 6 months every day. I'm just following them. They don't even know who I am. I'm just following, trying to see, what do they do? You remember I started trying in my own apartment complex in Irving. And if you all recall, I signed up 150 people because we didn't have it in our building. I signed up 150 people in a week that was going to pay me directly through the little swipe thing on my iPad. The apartment people told me I could do it at first, then shut me down. After they saw how many people wanted it and bought Valet trash in. But at that point, I had a call from my uncle, my dad. They was like, come to Houston. You know, I'm not going to even lie to you. I tried to get in Gray Star for the longest. Yeah. Uncle Elvin made a call and got in there in 10 minutes. and got with the president who said, hey, you know, Stacey Hunt, love him to death. Stacey Hunt was like, you know, are you going to sell? I say, no, sir. He said, I want you to grow with the next generation of Gray Star. And anybody that know a large corporation, when they give you stuff, they started me out with 1 property, then 2, then 5, then 7. Now, the next thing you know, once they see you do the work and you can handle the work, they just start blasting you out then. So that's who got me in Austin. All my Austin stuff, Gray Star. All my San Antonio stuff, Gray Star. Corpus Christi, Gray Star. 75% of my Houston stuff is Gray Star. So
one of those things of, you know, me and him talk a lot. We always talk about being a good steward of things that's been given to you. Time, family, resources, opportunities. And as you've proven that you could be a good steward of those things, how other opportunities, other things start to transpire and take place. To digress and go back for a second, that comment that your wife made to you, and this is actually, obviously she didn't make the comment to you, Steve, but, you know, don't you want to be your own, man? Just knowing y'all's upbringing. I mean, it seems like that's how y'all was raised, to be your own man and go out and be successful.
Yeah, correct. But me and Steven are totally different. Steven always said growing up, I just want to be, I say, you ain't going to be nothing but a little fat dentist. It's okay, I'm going to be a little fat dentist. And it's true, he's a fat dentist today. But he's always been, like, he's always pushed, been determined, been like, man, like his drive is insane. Like when it comes to like when he puts a goal in his mind, it's insane. Whereas me, I was like, you know, I just take over daddy. You know what I'm saying? I sit here and just take over daddy and stuff, you know. I ain't no need to sit here and do all that. Just Steven in D.C., you know. Steven gonna be off doing his thing. You know, Ashley, you know, she doing her thing. You know, I take it over. But my wife saying, won't you be your own man? I'm glad she said that to me because, hey, man, I believe in generational wealth. And the people had to break it down to me and explain really how it works. Okay. You don't go out and be, for example, like, I'm just going to use me and Steven. Generation wealth trickles down. Okay, daddy. Here's go me, Steve, and Ashley. Now, what me, Steve, and Ashley build, our kids get part of daddy, part of ours, and whatever they build. And keep going until you keep building that wealth on top of wealth. And the goal is, Courtney said this to me before, the goal in life is not to work your business. See, that's what we grew up with, people working their business. I want to sit back and get a check every month. Build it, get a check, invest in something else. And even along this path now, I'm starting to realize, like, when you go out there and buy this $200,000, $300,000 car. Is it smart?
Yeah.
No. You could have invested in a $300,000 business venture, made that money. If you want that car, go get it. But make that asset pay for that car. See, you still got that asset was paying for that car. And instead of just going out there, but we live in a world where flash matters. I've come to the point now where I don't care what nobody else think about Chris Hayes. Look, Chris Hayes lives for God, his family. That's it. Outside, care less. If you on the outside of that, I don't care what you think about me.
There's a saying that we use that great men plant seeds to trees from which they'll never feel the shade.
Correct.
That's the ultimate goal of generational wealth.
Yep.
You want to be able to, my great-great-granddad or whoever that I never met is the reason that we work under this umbrella. And we make money under this umbrella. Speaking of, one thing I want to say before I get to that point, we usually mess our way up to getting stuff right. So all the bumps you talked about, it's necessary. Smooth seas don't make skillful sailors. You get the skill from bumping water. You know what I'm saying? From getting it wrong, bumping your head. You said that you don't believe in coincidence, that God perfectly orders everything. I do believe the same thing. God does. But then there are decisions.
Oh,
and
wait. When I say coincidence, I'm talking about like when I use the guy I met at the Now, free will is something God gives to us.
So if you don't,
you don't have to make those dumb decisions.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
You can take difference here. Okay, Stephen. See, Stephen took that straight narrow path. See, Chris took that path. See, I was going to Delhi from Rayville, but I went through Mangum and Winboro and came back up the back way. You and Edgar took the narrow path. See, I took that long way around to get to Delhi. That's all I'm saying.
Everything you learn don't always have to be so painful.
Correct.
I always hear people say that experience is the best teacher. But also instruction is as well.
Yeah, listen.
When I get into my word, there's very clear instructions.
Very clear. Very clear.
Don't do this. Don't do that. Right? So being able to understand that sometimes I don't need to go put my hand on that stove to find out if it's hot. If you'd have told me, hey, that stove hot.
But sometimes you want to.
But you gotta learn what hot means too. Baby's first word usually hot. I say that a lot. Some babies' first word is usually hot because you keep telling them, "Don't touch that, it's hot."
Yeah.
Don't touch that, it's hot, and they be good at, and they touch and say hot.
Hot.
Yeah,
now they know it's hot.
Because that's the flesh side of us. The flesh side of us sometimes we gotta learn the hard way.
Gotta learn.
You know what I'm saying? But this a wise person. A wise man to learn from the mistakes of others. A fool to continue to make his own. I don't have to continue to make them. Sometimes I'm going to have to bump my head. Sometimes the instruction be there. They done showed you the right way. I'm going to do it anyway. Let me go and see, because that's ego too. Yeah. That's flesh. That's the lower side of self. We got a higher self, a lower self. Yeah. Got a light being and the flesh being. We made from all that. And sometimes that flesh will take over and make you have to learn the hard way. But you told me something a week ago. It ain't just about experience. It's about evaluating the experience.
It's about evaluating.
You know what I'm saying? And then after you evaluate it, was it worth it enough? Whatever that trauma was it worth it enough for me to change this behavior?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then get me out of, we just talked about it, your pivots. What it was that made you say, man, I need to get up and go ahead and do this. And then you got better. And then you had to pivot again because she said, don't you want to be your own man?
Correct.
Which brings me to another name. You did mention your father. Mr. Michael Hayes, right? We had examples growing up that we might not have known were certain examples until we got older. Speak about your grandfather, his dad.
Oh man, my granddaddy, man. Hey, my granddad's always been a part of my life. You know, he's always worked hard. He grew up in a time where, and everybody in our family, when you sit around and talk to the people, Dr. Miner, my Uncle Dennis, Uncle Elvin, all of them, Aunt Bunny, all of them are where they are because of what my granddad sacrificed. Like, he dropped out of school, started working at an early age, built a shop from nothing, a body shop from nothing. Him and my grandmother saved in order to put their kids in a better position, which ultimately put us in a better position. Well, my granddad didn't believe in giving you nothing. Like now my grandma gave us whatever we wanted. But we didn't go to granddad. And nobody went to granddad for nothing. But granddad believed you want something, go work for it. Ain't nobody giving you nothing. Yeah. My granddad had his first $100 bill he made. Still. Still. He said because he used to see, we ain't got to go into colors, but he used to see the white man walking around the 40s, 50s, whatever it may be. Say he saw a $100 bill, always want a $100 bill. He saw that. My granddad always instilled in us work, work, work. My granddad worked his butt off. I've never seen a man go suck gas out of a car and then go keep barbecuing. You know how they used to put the water hose in the water siphon, suck it out, something get in his mouth, spit it out, and go keep barbecuing. Like, you know, I was in there looking like, man, what is it? But that was my granddaddy, man. You know, and outside of my daddy, that's the most influential man in my life.
Yeah. To be able to see men who built something from nothing when it was dangerous for them to build it from nothing. Uncle George, your granddad. It wasn't safe. For them to do that at a time. But now look. King's Valet has been built from the ground up. But you had the example. Doug and I talked about buffets the other day, having the buffet information. First time I ever went to a buffet, I can tell I like a buffet. Like me a good buffet. But I was confused. I was like, hey, you can go get all of that. You know what answered my question? Seeing people that look like me walk around the plate and get anything. I got to see it. Right? You got to see your granddaddy do that, and so you know you made it. Got to see your daddy bill. You got to see uncle's bill. So speak to how that, and I'm talking to you now, boy, helps. Whenever there's something you're facing and you want to do it, how does having that example help?
I mean, because if you see it, you can be it. You know, one thing I get a lot of is no matter where I'm working, is that I was at the military, working with the military a couple of weeks ago, and they was like, the servicemen was coming in like, I've never seen a black dentist before, and it's the same thing. Like I remember working in public health in Houston, and I just had to walk to the clinic, and I could just see the little black kids look at me like I could see their eyes get big because they never seen that before, and just realizing that you are another piece to that puzzle that can encourage the youth that's coming behind us, that they can be these other things other than the things that are promoted. You know, it's always been like that, the rappers and the professional athletes, which most people are not going to do, but it's so many other things you can do. You can be an accountant, you know, you can be a veterinarian, you know what I'm saying? You could be an entrepreneur. I mean, you can do all these things because the school system doesn't teach us how to be an entrepreneur. You just have to learn that, you know, you got to learn that from people you know. Yeah. They got to teach you, or else you got to put in the hard work of having to figure it out for yourself. But when the thing that I've learned is that when people have to really dig deep and figure it all out for themselves, once they figure it out, they don't want to tell you. They won't tell nobody because they work so hard.
I work so hard to do it.
To get the information, and that information costs them a lot of time and a lot of money to get.
Yep.
So now they like, no, you got to pay me for that information. You know, and they don't want to give it out. But if it's somebody in your family that usually has gotten to that point to get the information, i.e., like my father, then you give them a phone call and go, hey, da 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 da, hey, da da da. If you just got one person in your family that can tell you about anything, talk to you about taxes, talk to you about contracts, talk to you about real estate, talk to you about how to start a business, you know, how to dissolve a business, so on and so forth. I mean, you just saved a lot of money because one person knows all the information.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of each one of us being our own man. Oil and gas, dentistry, coaching, development, authorship, valet waste management. The people coming behind us and the people living with us right now can get up. We got a law question. Who we call?
Yeah, Nene.
The family lawyer. I need to know something about my teeth. We call them bull.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have that. You building that network up. So and network usually reflects net worth.
Yeah.
So, like we said, we all supposed to be evolving, right? All supposed to be making each other better. That's why that time is so valuable. That's why we got to look into who you spending time with and what you're doing. And what Boy just said, is the reason I stayed on you about getting on this show for the longest, even though you didn't want to do it. This is what I found out about our people, me included. When we do what we ain't supposed to do, we show off. We show out. I'm gonna show like Lil Kiki say, ass naked. But when we start doing better, we invert, start getting humble. Well, it's people, the new generation of visual learners, more so than ever. So if they see the other side, if all they saw was you doing this, and now you telling them, man, you know, you need to do something else and be humble, but you ain't showing them no more, what you expect them to do? You see what I'm saying? So I think the only way that we combat what's going on now is people like this, people like you coming on and showing people, talking to them, showing this is what I do. Being transparent, this is what you can earn doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? When they get on YouTube and get on the phone, and the little dude is running around spinning the block 100 times, he's showing them big money and chains and all this stuff, and they, I need to do that. But the back end of that is detrimental. Ain't too much detrimental about what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody beating our door down to kill us over picking up, getting some more trash contracts. You know what I'm saying? So just putting it out there, man. I'm happy you came on because this is important to have conversations like this and to put people like y'all on display.
I heard something the other day, and it makes all the sense in the world. And take this with you wherever you go. Would you ever walk around with a plastic bag with $5,000 in it, or walk around with a $5,000 bag with $100 in it?
Yeah.
What makes more sense?
Yeah.
I want to walk around with a plastic bag, $5,000 in it, a $5,000 Louis bag with $100 in it.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. And also the thing is that people need to know financial literacy. Because you can have $5,000 if you don't know what to do with it.
You don't know what to do with it, yeah.
$5,000.
Yeah, but don't put it in that bag if that's what you got. Don't put it in that bag. If you only got 5 racks, don't go buy that Louis.
It's great.
Yeah, but don't go buy that Louis if all you got is 5,000.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Well, we keep mentioning time, and everybody in here is a busy man. So for the sake of it, we won't keep prolonging it. But look at the examples in the room, man. We're in a beautiful home right now. This is their father's home. But each of these people in here, their own man, right? Their grandfather was a business owner, daddy, sons, hopefully their children, right? What is Mary going to school in right now?
She's going physician assistant.
Physician assistant, right? Medical field, daddies, D.D.S. M.B.A. It all ties in, man. We have to know that we're all planting trees.
Well, twins probably just gonna live off me.
They could, or they might be. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask y'all this before we end this, and this is for both of y'all. Currently in your life now, what are y'all learning, or maybe relearning? Maybe if you something professional you want to share, or personal that you learn in this stage of your life, because husband, fathers, right, business, man. Like, what's one thing you would share?
The most important thing I would share to anybody is, and this is your relationship with Jesus. Like, all this other stuff is immaterial. Nothing else matters. Your relationship with Jesus. I keep telling, I've said this to him yesterday, and I say it to a lot of people. What's the worst thing could happen to you in life? To hear, depart from me, I never knew you. That's absolutely the worst thing could happen to you in life. This is all material. Earth is material. Relationship with Jesus. Once you get that relationship with Jesus, everything else falls in place. If you gain a relationship with Jesus, your life should reflect that. So that means husband, in your business, as a father, as a friend. Everything should reflect that if you have a good relationship with Jesus. Period.
Yeah, for me, the more knowledge I obtain, the more I realize I don't know. And the thing is that I listen way more, because some conversations don't need to be had with certain people. And usually, majority of the time, I'm going to be the smartest person in most rooms that I walk in.
Unless you're with me.
But I listen. And I allow people to say what they have to say, or so on and so forth. And I just learn from what they have to say, and I'll determine whether I want to respond. Because sometimes people, based on the knowledge that person has, they're right. Mm-hmm. They're right. You both can be right, because based on your knowledge and what you know, you're right. Based on the knowledge I have, I'm right. So you just don't even argue, because that's a waste of time. And the thing is that you realize that you get wiser and wiser and wiser through that. But like I said, you can learn from anybody. So listen, you can learn from a janitor. It does not matter. It does not. Everybody has different life experiences. Everybody in this entire room could teach somebody something. And if you're talking and you think you're smarter than everybody, then you'll never hear what they have to say. Yeah. And then you miss the opportunity at growth. Because even from a janitor could come into a dentist office all the time. And then I'm seeing all this trash pile and stuff like that. I'm like, man, why are we spending so much money? I see all this tissue. And then I'm like, okay, I got to talk to the office staff, because I just learned we're wasting all this damn money on tissue every damn month just for something so simple. And they could save you money.
And calling your brother to get it could save you more money.
It could be anything. Because the biggest thing that I've learned, and even from my M.B.A. program to now, is that time. Like I said, time is the most important thing. So anything I do, I don't look at the money. I look at the time. How much time is it gonna take me to do this? How much am I gonna make off of this? Because my time, I wanted to be doing the things that I love, be with the people I love, and I don't want to be trading time for money. So anything that I do, like my business is running in Houston right now, and I'm not even there. You know, so and if I work somewhere, I'm making a lot of money in a very short period of time if I'm gonna be there. I'm not gonna be sitting there all day making the same thing every day. Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense, because money comes and goes. Money means nothing. It's nothing. Money, like my grandfather said, money just makes you comfortable until you die. That's it. Yeah. Everybody, you may fly, like Courtney flew here from Ohio. Okay, he may have flew economy. He may have got more money, he flew first class. Yeah. Somebody got more money, they fly more comfortable on a private jet. It just makes us comfortable, like we're sitting on these chairs. We could be sitting in the Richland projects on metal chairs. It's just money changes the comfort until you leave the world. That's it. That's all it is. So just time is the most important thing, because that's the one thing, like people, it's cliche, that you never get back. So instead of spending most of my time here away from my family, I try to figure out how to get to where I want to be at all times, to where the money can still come in, because you need money to eat and to live, and you want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So,
and as your big brother, I think you should give me half your salary, so I can be at home more with my family.
He was hating the whole time I saw it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really setting up systems. It's setting up systems and setting up a team. When you go into, because any business I do a 40-page business plan before I do any business. If you ain't doing 40 pages, you're bullshitting. Okay? Once you do that, it took me 3-4 months to set up, to set up my business in Houston. Hell, I don't work 1 hour. It's been open 5 days. That's it. Everything else is controlled completely from my phone. I went and left the country for a month. The business never started running. And I was controlling everything from my phone.
Tell them what the business.
And money was still coming in, is cannabis. And it was still running. Employee schedule was done. They was still they getting paid automated. The schedule is what it is. I can control the whole store, order products all from my phone. Shut down the store, open, close it, don't matter. All from the cell phone.
In your words, is your business name cannabis?
No,
plug your business.
Singing Kush.
He got me. He got me.
Hey, y'all value the company you have, value your time and who you spending with. Surround yourself around people that you can evolve from. Hayes, do answer the phone for me, because we gonna crack some jokes and we gonna laugh and stuff. But then 9 times out of 10, we gonna get into some thick growth conversation. Both of us can walk away from it growing. Egg and I talk a bunch. As the older I get, I have less time for things that don't build me. It's taken away. I'm trying to look and see if is it adding something or taking it away.
Yeah.
You just said, is it an asset or is it a liability? One or two. And we wanna get more assets. That's not just a financial thing. That's in life. That's energy. That's whatever it is. Always be building yourself, man. Singing Kush, King's Valet, Lit, Illuminating in Thought. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.